Good afternoon, folks, and welcome back. This is another Zento sales snippet. As you can see, the boys and I are having fun today. We're with Rob and Steve from CASA Leisure in South Australia. Now, CASA Leisure, you would have seen the stats on the screen before the video. They've run 4 centres throughout the Adelaide area, which Rob's responsible for, and Steve's just joined the team as the sales manager. Today we're talking about sales and the sales success of the 4 centres. Steve brings to the table a whole bunch of years with retails. That's a unique mindset, a unique skill set for the team. Rob's been with the CASA team now for over 10 years, so there's a wealth of experience in the room. And I guess the first question, guys, as you know, we work in 3 areas. It's the system, it's the skills and the staff. So Rob, from your perspective, what have you seen in the systems around sales for your centres over the last few years and how they've changed?
Yeah, well, we come from a background with no systems, I suppose. So you're starting with a blank canvas, and the systems, the tools that are available have been, they're pretty standard, I suppose you'd say, tools, but they just have allowed us to facilitate a more professional sales process in our centres. Okay. And then it's really up to us as to how they're implemented and whether they're successful or not, ultimately, I suppose.
Cool. Steve, from your perspective, coming from the Harvey Norman background, a strong retail background, how do the systems in the sales process differ from fitness centres to retail?
I'd probably say the biggest difference, and something I'm learning, is obviously the retention of customers. Yep. I think something that I've taken away from here, if I was ever to go back to retail, something I've learned is really how to look after those customers after the point of sale. So that's probably the main difference that I've probably picked up here is, you know, once you've signed the customer up and you've got them as a customer, you have to make sure you keep servicing that customer and looking after them well after the sale's been made, where in retail isn't the case and it's not done very well. So we've got your money, you've bought the product, and then we sort of hope that you come back into the doors. So that's probably the biggest difference I've noticed.
Excellent. All right, so systems here, and as you know, Rob, we've worked hard over the last few years to get the systems in place, and we're getting better, which is good. The skills of the sales team and the customer service team. Rob, if you were hiring a new salesperson tomorrow, what's a couple of key skills that you'd look for in a new membership salesperson?
I still think the key one is getting on the phone and a commitment to getting on the phone, because regardless of how good they are face to face, they've got to be prepared to do that work on the phone to generate business, or as Steve has said, to follow up and to service your members. So that is the area that you can't reinforce enough when we're recruiting. And they have to be outgoing, whether they've had sales experience or not. They need to be, you know, an extroverted type personality, I'd suggest. But they have to be organised as well. So it's quite hard to get that person who's extroverted but organised and can do the paperwork and you know, all the bits and pieces, and not get someone who's great, super organised, but they're, you know, hopeless at selling or the face-to-face relations and customer relations. That's
a good point. Steve, from your perspective, you've obviously hired a bunch of retail staff over your years. With the team you've got now, you've got sales representatives in each centre. What are you looking for in a key skill to make them successful at working with you?
Working with myself?
Well, working with you, and I guess to be successful in sales.
Yeah, something I've recognised a big difference over, you know, the retail staff, Harvey Norman staff, is you're very much within a team environment. So you're on the shop floor and you're working amongst 7 or 8 other team members, where here, even though we create a team environment, majority of the time if you come in, you might work a 4-hour shift by yourself. So something I'm looking for is someone who's very driven, it's self-driven and self-motivated to pick up that phone, like Rob said before, because it can be challenging. They come to work, they might have had a bad day or a bad morning, and then we require them to sit on the phone for 4 hours and make phone calls and change other people's lives. They have to be able to put that aside and be really self-driven to do so. So that's something I've noticed with our staff already. Excellent. And definitely some room for improvement as well.
Cool. So guys, talking CASA wide, so CASA's a unique operation because it's not the cutting edge sort of sales driven organisation, and it's still a commercial entity, so we still have sales responsibilities. If you're looking for what's your unique sort of sales proposition in the market, what's the difference between CASA and the other competitors out there?
I'd still like to think that it's our community focus, because all our facilities are local government centres. Is that we actively promote and deliver the community focus. So you know, you can come in here and there should be some interaction. The customer service should be at a higher standard, so you can come in here and have some interaction, whether it's with Steve or Michael in the gym or whoever it is on the front desk, that we provide that for people that come in here. And that you know, it's not on the fitness side of things, it's not an area that you walk into and you go up into the gym and there's 25 people in there, they've all got headphones on, they're all in their own little world.
Yep, yep.
It's completely different. So there's interaction between members, and I think through the staff we actively try and promote that.
Cool. So the Zento hat on. I've been coming here for the last 3 or 4 years. Why do you choose to use an outside provider to come in and, I guess, do that training and give you the input from external? What's been the tangible benefits of having someone external coming into your business?
It's certainly, because we've started with a blank canvas, it's giving us some tools, and for myself, I mean, I've got no sales background, it's trying to provide us some support, and it's just improving the focus of staff as well, keeping them motivated and reminding them of the tools. And the next step was obviously to get someone like Steve in as a sales manager who can help keep people accountable to those tools that you provide us. You provide us the tools. If it falls down, it's because we're not managing that process properly. It's not about the tools. And if you talk to the staff and say, well, what happened here? You know, 90% of the time it's because they're not following the systems or the tools that they should be following. So as managers in the facilities, we don't have the time to probably keep them as accountable as we'd like. So by having Steve in managing that process and managing a team of 8 staff, is that we think we can do that better. And whilst we still continue to use Zento, we're not going back rehashing the same things and saying, you know, Rob, why isn't this happening? We talked about this 3 months ago.
I can blame Steve.
That's right.
Handball.
Handball, beautiful.
Yeah.
Alright, final question, guys. If I was opening a new centre tomorrow, Steve in the first...
Close you down, mate. Don't worry about that.
Nice to hear, mate. Good work. In the first couple of weeks of being in the fitness industry dedicated, what would be one suggestion you'd have for a new business? Someone out there saying, I'm going to open a fitness centre. What's one suggestion from a sales, customer service perspective you'd give them?
Not going to tell you too many ideas, but get the customer's name. And I don't mind saying that because it's easy, but no one ever implements it. So I'll say it, get the customer's name. That would be the #1 focus. If I was to open the doors today and I had a team of 4 fresh salespeople there, I would say get the customer's name, learn it and use it.
Good. That's a very easy takeaway tool. Thank you. Rob?
The extension of that, I think, is to make sure you know your market. Obviously know that, you know, make sure you've got an understanding of the product you're trying to sell, but don't try and be a bit of everything. Really understand who it is that you're trying to sell to.
Beautiful. Guys, thanks for your time today. Been some great ideas, and I hope you guys have enjoyed it. The information about CASA will be after this video, so if you want to contact the guys, you're most welcome to. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Beautiful.
Cheers.
Thanks, Mike.
Thanks.